Well, hello, it's time to get ready for Christmas. It's just around the corner. So I thought today, let me show you something a little bit different to my normal kind of crafts. And that is how you can actually use soda bottles or soda tins or cans, whatever you call them in your country, to make embellishments that you can use for cards. And if you would like to know how you can actually go about cleaning these and cutting them up, I will link the video that I have done explaining this in the description box below, and you can watch that. So let me set this aside and I'll show you what I've been up to. So for doing the embellishments for today's project, I used a 7-Up can which I had flattened, and I had 2 metal dies, one being this lovely little tree shape and the other one this little bird. And I wanted to make a pea stove, and the closest I could come to having the sort of leaf was that kind of leaf. So I've cut out a whole section and I'll be able to use this multiple times. So I've laid all of these things up in my die and just fully explained in the previous video. And once it's all cut out, I am then left with this lovely cut out piece of die material. And you can see here that on the one side you've got all the markings of the tin or the can, and on the other side, if you turn it over, it's beautifully shiny and silver, so it won't really cost you a lot. I've snipped off a piece here because I've been playing around with my little bits, and here is my little pea stub that I've cut out from this. So out of one can you'll be able to get quite a lot of little embellishments, and I've actually had a lot of fun making these. So let me just set that aside for now, like that, and I'm going to show you a little card that I've been making. So I'm starting off with a piece of red card, which is 10.5 centimeters wide by 21, and I've just folded that in half. Sorry, 15 by 21. I've just folded that in half. And the next thing I'm going to do is to glue down, just using a glue stick, a sheet of music paper. So we'll just do that quite quickly. Generally speaking, prefer double-sided tape for card making, but because this is a nice large piece, I'm very happy to use a glue stick because I'm not going to get too messy, and that's my only reason, is that I don't know, I tend to get messy when I work. I tend to get paint on me and glue and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so that's going to be the background for my card, some nice music score, and then I have a lovely piece of mulberry paper which I'm going to glue down, also using my glue stick. This is a little bit more fragile, so it has a tendency to want to curl up and tear, so that's why I'm just using it to rub against my finger. And I like to use the glue stick for this because the tape shows through, and I don't want to see any of the tape when I've got my card finished. So I'm going to just stick that on about there. I've chosen this soft white mulberry paper as a matte or as a background, simply because it has this lovely sort of fluffy texture, and it's got these little fibers through that you can see here from the mulberry trees. They call that in Thailand SAA paper, S-A-A paper. Then the next things that I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put these on. This is a very sort of textured silver paper, and this is just a piece of white cardstock. So I'm going to stick down the cardstock first, and I have secured double-sided tape on here, and I just use my craft knife to flick up the ends. I always mention this in my videos. If you battle to get the double-sided tape up, just use a blade from a craft knife. I find that that's really easy, and make sure that the ends are rubbed down very well, otherwise it's going to peel up as well. So this is a perfect card for using up little bits and pieces. So I would like my design to be slightly off-centered, simply because I've got the bird and it's going to be carrying a piece of a branch, so I need to have it not flat on because I think it's going to look difficult. It's going to look awkward, so I think I've got that kind of image in mind, maybe not quite so straight. I'll fiddle with that in a moment. Right, so then I have a sentiment. So let me get the sentiment down first, because that'll give me my idea of spacing. And my sentiment just says merry and bright, merry and bright. And I'm not matting that on anything. It's just going to go straight on top of the mulberry paper and on the music sheet. using again my double-sided tape, and this was embossed. It was a sheet that had a whole load of different expressions on, and yeah, I've just chopped it up using my guillotine. So it's been a really wonderful thing. It was gifted to me by a friend who does a lot of embossing, and she knew I didn't have a lot of Christmas designs, so she gave me that one. So I'm very happy with that. So I'm going to stick that down. And the next thing I'm going to do now is to stick down this matte background onto my card. I've just again prepped it with my double-sided tape. I love this stuff. So quick, so easy, so mess-free. And if you were making multiples for Christmas, you know, you're sending out to a lot of people, this would be a lovely card, because you could actually do this almost production line style. Get all your card cut and just glue 2 pieces together, and then the next 2 and the next 2. Right, so now I'm going to position this so that I've got a little bit of music on either side, a bit of mulberry paper. I want to see some of the music score, so I think that will do. And then for this little bit, which is a bit more tricky, I need to get the angle of the bird and the branch pleasing to the eye. And I do need to have the end of the branch underneath the bird's beak, otherwise it's going to look disjointed. So I'm going to stick the branch down first, and with the double-sided tape on the metal, you have to be really quite careful with this, because it does have a tendency to want to lift. So that one's stuck down nicely. Use your fingernail just to really rub the corner down, and you should be okay. That one's okay. Good. That was easier than I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to stick that down first, and then when I come to stick the bird down, I can make sure that the beak covers that little point. I haven't covered this whole backing of the bird with double-sided tape, because I like the fact that I could actually bend the tail and the beak up a little bit to make it look a little bit more 3D. So again, just watch out that you've got the edges stuck, and you want to make sure that they're down securely before you start lifting. If they start peeling up, rub it down with your fingernail. Here we go. Right, so let's not get this confused. Get the beak down first and get your bird stuck. And there's my little card. Really happy with that. It was fairly quick and easy to do. And with the branch that I've cut out of that nice little die cut, using my soda can, I would get that card plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more cards out of that. So 6 in total. Very happy with that. Anyway, you can let me know what you think about this in the comments below, and I will leave that link for how to open up, clean, and use your embossing machine with the soda cans. Thank you for joining me. Bye for now.